Yeah.
So I think I would kind of just squat this is too late. They have a stage of cookouts. Or you do a knee. I would just be on your knee. Yep. Yep. Abby, is he in your shot? He is?
Yeah, so I think we need to shop
Yes.
Oh.
so that way he doesn't have to like
Okay. Perfect.
that work, just like weekly.
Wait, so what'd you say?
We might not.
Okay.
Where's the shotgun?
Right there on the lectern. So they're gonna do just like weekly so that the guy's not like running around in the shot of everyone.
Then that works.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
We were just making sure.
And then that's Brent's mic.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Brent said he's going to stand off over there.
Yep, that sounds good. That's good. I was very worried you were going to have
I feel like I should have a stat sheet in front of me and answer questions from the stat sheet.
Points off, rebounds, fast break points.
Everything good going
How many
back?
kills, how many digs?
What do you need, Mark?
So possibly you can move in the second row on the left. Yeah, just a little bit. Thank you so much.
Okay, y'all, thank you for being here. We'll open it up with just opening statements from Doug and Linda, and then we'll take some questions. We'll handle it like we do most of our post game, where you can raise your hand, we'll call on you, and then you say your outlet, your name, and your question. So, go ahead.
I'll start and then let Doug say a few words. Now, we're just thrilled to have Doug joining us, returning early to Baylor as our Director of Athletics. And we had a really quick search. Took us about 2.5 weeks to get to this point after we started the process. And just deeply grateful to Bob Odine, who helped us with the search. And really, we looked at a wide swath of types of candidates, from those sitting athletic directors in both Power 4 and G6 conferences, as well as some non-traditional candidates. And at the end of the day, after doing that and thinking about the current and dynamic landscape in college athletics, felt like Doug brought all the things to the table that we were looking for. He certainly had a background in athletics. He knows and loves Baylor, deeply committed to Baylor, but he brings an entrepreneurial spirit. He's done media deals, he's done corporate partnerships, he's done all kinds of brand building. And so we just felt like, for what we need and the way college athletics is going, he just brought the perfect combination of skills to the table. And so we're thrilled to have him and really looking forward to his leadership of our athletics program.
Thank you. Well, it's an honor. A huge gratitude to President Livingstone and to the Board of Regents and to everyone in the Baylor family. This was a 27-year journey for me to get the absolute one-of-one job opportunity. And I just feel like it's a great day for Baylor, but trend-setting decision the president made. Excited. We've got a great group of coaches, incredible student athletes, and a one-of-one institution to get to pull them to. So looking forward to working with each of you. Appreciate the way that you cover and support us, and excited to take your questions.
Bryce Cherry.
Yes, sir. Hey, Bryce.
Doug, you addressed a little bit in there, but
Yeah.
It's been a minute since you were working for Baylor
Sure.
Athletics. Like, a lot's changed in the last 7 years. How do you navigate all the new things that.
Yeah, it has never left me. First of all, it wasn't my job, but it's remained my passion. So I've certainly monitored it closely. But certainly the revenue component of college athletics has really been amplified over the last 7 years. And the last 7 years have prepared me, I think, to tackle that well. And so I would just say to you, there's a lot of change. It's difficult to keep up with all the things that are happening and all the, the legislations, different conversations. I've been reading it frequently. But I'll tell you, as a department and a university, we'll be nimble. We'll be ready. We'll be on the forefront to adjust to whatever's necessary and put our university in the best to be successful. If we're going to compete in a sport, we're interested in winning in the sport. And so we will do whatever it takes, as long as we do it in light of the mission that we have as a university to make sure that we're most successful.
Go to Parker in the back row.
President Livingston, Parker Reed, 544. Given the candidates in this search and just the effort that you guys put in that frame, was it important to you that you brought back somebody that is a Baylor-centric person, and how did that factor into the process?
I mean, it was one of the factors, but all the candidates that we looked at did not necessarily have Baylor ties, but we were kind of looking.
Go to Matt Mosley in the front.
Matt Mosley, Rogue Media. Doug, congrats. What will your evaluation be like of Dave Aranda and his staff, and how will that, it'll take a little time, but
Sure.
how quickly do you need to get through that as the portal and everything's hitting?
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, hey, Dave and I have probably spoken 5 times in the last 36 hours. And, I told Dave, I said, first of all, I want to thank you. You specifically called out the 12 championship. I wanted to also call out the victory in they were retiring Patrick Mahomes jerseys. And Dave and I both agreed that those really, really enjoyable moments, we need more of them. We haven't had enough of late. And so he shared that. We're in total alignment. We need more of those great moments. And it's been a tough road of late. And I just told him I'm here to do whatever it takes to help them be as successful as we possibly can. We're in it to win it. Dave's committed. And just, I think, early impressions. We've, again, brief several phone calls. But I think he and I will work well together.
Gary Baxter, ESPN Central
Sir.
Texas, Baylor alumni
100%.
and Hall of Famer
Yes,
as
sir.
well.
Yep.
I know you just answered the question about evaluation, but what is your expectations of Coach Dave Aranda for 2026?
Yeah, Gary, great to see you. Thanks for all your contributions. Enjoyed watching you play. And back to what I said, I've been here for all of about 3 hours. Just we all collectively understand the importance of winning. And that is very, very clear in the trajectory of the program. I'm anxious to get over there and understand better the culture and what's working well and what needs to be improved. But I'd say at this point, it'd be premature to say anything beyond that, other than we've got to do better. We know current state is unacceptable, and we got to keep driving that bus forward, and we will.
All right, last question I have. We just heard you and President Livingstone speak about revenue generation and things like that. Will you guys consider maybe selling alcohol at the stadium as part of that, helping you to create some revenue generation, as well as helping the game day experience for alumni and fans?
Well, I will defer to the president of the Board of Regents as far as that decision is concerned. I will certainly provide perspective, but I want to be respectful for that specific decision. I would tell you, in general, though, every rock is going to be flipped over to evaluate if there's a revenue opportunity. I'd say that's my experience. My most recent company inherited and acquired a brand, and we did it through 2 transactions from an IP standpoint, had 0 revenue, and we had to literally 2 years ago from 0 revenue grow that in a really innovative way. And there's all kinds of ways that we did that, and I think there's lessons that will be applied. But really, as it relates to revenue and within the college athletic department, we need to tell our story well. We need to tell what our purpose and our mission is, and we need to tell our constituency how they can come alongside and help us. And I think that's an opportunity for us to improve. There's so much confusion, and I would say, buzzwords around NIL and revenue. I think if we tell that story well and we show why it's important for Baylor to be successful in college athletics in this day and age, I am very confident. I've seen it happen before. We have a constituency and a fan base that will step up, and we will be able to support our teams and our student athletes at acceptable levels to be successful.
Go to Zach Smith.
Zach Smith, the Waco Trib. Revenue building acumen really isn't questioned. Where do you feel like you need to grow or learn in this job?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly, it is a first time for me to sit in this chair. I think humility is a trait that you'll find for me to be consistently mindful of. I'm eager to get to connect with a lot of these Big 12 conference ADs. I know a handful of them. Eager to learn, ask questions. I think understanding how to be most supportive to our coaches. I look at our coaches as CEOs, and I've had a chance to a relationship with most of them that precedes this, but assistant. I want to make sure we have the best coaches in the country that are wanting to fulfill the mission of the university, and then do everything I can to support them. Get out of the way and support these guys. They are talented individuals on their own, and how can I support you and clear hurdles for them? So I would say, as far as the growth, it's acknowledging that's going to be a first for me, but I think the humble approach is going to be that with each of our coaches.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Doug, 3 hours on the job. What are your priorities? Have you thought about that in terms of prioritizing everything?
Yeah, so I would say first and foremost, and well, I'm going to give you three in no particular order. In football, we all know how important that is, and we know, the only portal window that now exists is around the corner, and I want to be there to help Dave and get his team ready to go, and I know they're really looking at things through a different lens and how they approach it, and they're making some hard decisions. And we've got a really important portal window. We've got to do well there for us to have a successful 26. So that certainly is first and foremost. I would say the second thing is I want to make sure that our fans know that I'm one of them and that I've come from them, that we hear them, and that we need, I think, the fans of Baylor University, whether that be individuals with names on buildings to a casual Wacoan that just happens to be interested to come to a game. I want them to know that they're welcome and they're needed within our university and our athletic program, and we will work hard. This isn't tell me what you're going to do, show me what you're going to do. We will work hard to earn their trust and their commitment. And, a third thing I'd tell you is as an athletic department staff, we're going to make an assessment and ensure you focused in terms of the way that we're set up. We're going to continue, but that department is going to be revenue and externally focused to serve our constituencies, and specifically our fans. So those are the three things I would say I would prioritize at the top for us.
Chad Bothering, KPTX. Congrats on the past few days, but were you involved at all in the decision of Baylor declining the bowl game? And when you kind of look at the calendar, what are kind of your thoughts of just a lot of these schools declining bowl games, and what do you think kind of needs to change moving forward?
Yeah, I'll take the first question, to Jovan and Dave and President Livingstone, but I fully support and agree with the decision. Priority for us is a successful 2026 year. With a lot of transition, a lot of moving parts, we didn't think that was in the best interest of our program to go to a bowl game, and so respectfully decline that. But we're focused on 26, and there's a lot of things that are going on to make that a successful year. As far as the bowl landscape as a whole, certainly have heard the media reports. Watch the schools that have declined it, and the fines, and the ones that didn't make the college football playoffs. Here's what I tell you: we're going to want to be a part of that conversation in 26 and be in the mix of that. That's my kind of my statement as far as that. We'll be in the mix of those discussions in terms of where we're going to fall in 26, and we can talk more about how that fits in how we fit in that conversation at that point.
Right now, as you enter this new role, at least in terms of modern day NIL landscape, stuff like that, and under your leadership?
Well, I think, first of all, we're very fortunate in the sense that we have absolutely first-class facilities, and a lot of those facilities were invested in and built just prior to NIL, and I think that you'll see a lot of colleges moving forward probably deprioritize the facilities. And so where it used to be an arms war and you built it, the next day there was a better facility, I have a feeling we're going to be at the top for a while, just the way that the revenue model is working. As far as our advantages, I just spoke to our Baylor family about the three advantages that I see. First of all, I think our location is the most ideal location you can possibly imagine. 80% of the state population within a 3-hour drive. Great for impressions, media. So it's super important for us. And then I would tell you that the university's commitment, President Livingstone, our Board of Regents, no athletic department in the country is supported the way that we're supported by our university. And our job is to serve that, create a front porch for this university to show what it can provide to a great student experience, and that's what I believe we we exist to do. Believe in the mission of our university. And I shared the stat, but there's 68 Power 4 schools, 65 are R1 institutions. 4 of those 65 are officially religiously affiliated to Catholics, our friends at BYU at the LDS Church, and we're that no one else can touch. And I think from a faith perspective, at Baylor, you can't accept or tolerate the faith. You have to embrace it and lean into it. And I think it is our most genuine, authentic, competitive advantage that provides our student athletes an opportunity that can't be matched and gives our fans a mission to understand the importance of the university in terms of fulfilling the larger university mission of spreading the word.
Go Sydney and then Will.
Hi, Sydney, Casey, and Channel 6, welcome. Everywhere out there it said welcome, Doug, and you could see that there was a lot of happy faces out there too. And you had mentioned about your relationship with your dad, you know, growing up, going to Baylor events. Can you just talk about what this homecoming means to you and when you got the phone call and this opportunity?
Yeah, it's so overwhelming. I probably get choked up. I joked with President Livingston. I said, hope your first impressions of offering a job to an executive on your team and him telling you he was crying on the other side of the phone is not a bad one. You know, listen, my dad, and I lost my mom a couple years ago, lost my dad 3 months ago, and Baylor was always at the root. And so fortunate that they got to see some amazing memories. I'll tell you a story. When I got the opportunity and the call to come speak with President Livingstone and the committee, you know, I had an hour carved out in my time and was ready to go prep. And I said, you know what, man, I've had 27 years to prep for this conversation. There's no prep needed. And I went over and saw my dad and mom's headstone at the cemetery, which is not far away, and just sat with them and just reflected. And I tell you that peace and that calm and that just trust in God's plan to walk into that conversation with the president and the committee gave me all the trust and the confidence that I need. And I walked out of there and I said, you know, may God's will be done. I left it all on the field. I believe strongly in my vision and what I can do for this university. But if there's somebody better, all the trust in the world for the president and her decision, and Baylor's in great hands. So it's been an overwhelming moment. My daughters were showing me a picture of a billboard with my face on there. I got to get my headshot updated. I think that's like 8 years ago, and I look like I'm 18. And there's been a lot of years that have aged before in my body since that time. But it's too good of a dream to be true, and it's an honor of a lifetime. And I can just tell you that when I left Baylor 7 years ago, I'd say kind of the objective for me, professional journey, was always to get to this job. The objective for me today isn't to get this job. The objective is to be successful and to deliver the athletic department that the president and the Board of Regents has asked us to deliver. And I will give
Hey, Doug, Will Bowles with City
Will.
Number 65. Yeah. You talk about how important students are to you and what you're going to do here. How do you plan on connecting to the student body, and how do you see them affecting the game day atmosphere in your favor?
Yeah, I'm so overwhelmed and grateful for the number of students that were just in that event before. 'Cause I was one of them, you know, and I remember tailgating at Floyd Casey Stadium when tailgating wasn't cool. And I saw some hard times, you know, when I was a student in undergrad, and start to see some better times as I became into grad school. And, you know, my second year of grad school, got to go to the College World Series. The year before that, tennis won a national championship. And you started to feel the momentum in the athletic department change. And, you know, students bring all the energy. Like, I've had the honor and the pleasure of traveling a lot to other venues. And, you know, the best student sections make all the difference in the world. And I think, you know, the Baylor line, it's the best tradition in college sports. That day where, you know, before they go, a tradition like no other, you know, borrowing a little bit of the master's language there. It's such a great moment to just see that rush of students' energy. It reflects so much on the heart of a Baylor student. And when they're active and engaged and involved, we owe them. We have a responsibility to give them a great experience. Then we need to make their path to get to games and to cheer an easy one, and one that they can be happy about. And we want to win, and we want to win as much as we can. But when we don't win, we still want them walking away saying, that was a great way to spend a Saturday at McLean Stadium. So I've got my jersey. So I just tell you, I'm excited to connect with those guys for sure.
Go Gary and then Zach.
So what is your message to the student athletes that may be thinking about leaving and transferring away from Baylor? What would be your message for them to stay here and the great things that you have planned?
You're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on a world-class education with a Christian mission, with outstanding coaches, and we're going to be successful. And we're going to have an awesome fan experience and a game day atmosphere. I think we've got some incredible tools at our disposal, and I'm not sure they've been fully unlocked yet. So I just say, best is yet to come. Don't regret it. If you leave, you will.
Zach and then Bryce can wrap us up.
President Livingstone, you both have talked a lot about money. Have you talked to donors or, the people that give the most money to Baylor, and are they kind of behind all of this and kind of your vision going forward?
This has been a whirlwind for the last couple of weeks. I've spent most of my time looking for an athletic director, but I have talked to some of our key donors, and I know Doug has had conversations with some of them as well since we named him. And most of them know Doug from his previous time here or his time in Waco, because he's been here for so long. They're unbelievably supportive and excited, and they want to help us to be successful. I mean, the reason we've been so successful, the reason we have these amazing facilities that Doug talked about is because we have so many ideas. So I have no worries that our major donors will come alongside us, that new donors will come alongside us, and others as well, because it's going to take everybody all up and down that donor pipeline to help us in the new world that we're in. And people are excited about Doug coming on board. They're excited about the opportunities we have ahead. And so we all look forward to working with them.
Linda, I wanted to follow up on Chad's question about the bowl game. Obviously, we're trying to win that last game to get to bowl eligibility for those seniors. Is it because you had kind of flipped the page to the off season that decision to decline the bowl opportunity arose, and kind of along with that, for that particular bowl, would the expense of traveling there have outweighed the payout?
Yeah, as Doug said, as we evaluated that situation, we felt like, given the season that we had that was disappointing for all of us, the better use of our time and energy over the next 2 or 3 weeks was to focus on next year and to prepare for the portal and to make sure that we were ready for the portal and what we had to do. You played in that bowl game, which we frankly didn't earn the right to play in a bowl game given our schedule or our outcome. It was going to take all of our time and energy to do that, and then we would be behind going into the portal. And you saw a lot of 5 and 7 teams turn down the opportunity to play in bowls for the very, very same reason that we did. And so the financial piece, we would have lost money going to that particular bowl. That wasn't really a factor in the decision that we made. We kind of put the financial piece out, where should our time and energy be spent, that was going to position us absolutely the best, have the best opportunity to have a better season next year than we've had this past year.
Thank you all. Thank you, Linda. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Whatever.